The entire room seemed to get quiet.
Yeah.
I mean, but he asked me a question, and it was a Christian pageant. I'm a Christian, so I felt like I had to tell the truth. You
Right.
know? His question was, what was the most challenging part of my life that I had to overcome? So I had to tell him that was what it was. And the response was really great after that. So that was like a stepping stone into me talking about it more freely. And then all the years since then, since I've continued pageantry, I have continued to share my story, which I did also for the Mrs. Essence pageant. And of course, I have a greater platform now because a lot more people know about this pageant system. So it's just offered a lot more exposure to the cause.
Yeah. So for that pageant, did you get the same response when you told your story, or was it still like a little shy ears?
No, I feel like as I've continued over the years, the response has been greater. Every year is getting bigger and greater. A lot more people know me now because of my involvement in the community, and a lot more people are aware of why I participate in pageantry. So it's kind of like I'm just trying to reach people that haven't heard of me before.
Right. So in you're telling your story every time, do you feel like there's another level of healing every time you tell your story?
Yes, I do. And not only for me, but for the people that listen to the story. So to be honest with you, I never took that traditional route of healing per se that people think you have to take in order to overcome something like that. Never been to a counselor and anything like that. My healing has exclusively come from just talking about it with other people. And the more that I saw people come to me and say, wow, I can't believe that this is where you are at the way you come from, that's made me say, oh, okay, I'm doing this thing. Let me keep it going.
Yeah.
You know, so that's been my healing, just talking about it.
Oh, well, that's really great. I can definitely relate to you as well with the sexual abuse. Me personally, I've had that happen to me as well, and where I did have to go to counseling, really because once I told my mom, it took me a while. Before I told my mom, it took me 3 years, and in that 3 years, I was really numb and kind of, well, more so angry, and I really wasn't opening up, and my mother was like, something is wrong with you, and I don't know what it is, but you just need to go talk to somebody because you're not talking to me. And she made me go to therapy. And that year is when I told her. It was actually 2 years ago now. And I started a campaign. It's called Wear Words. And this was when I really decided to really tell the world, basically, really just my social media, people that follow me. And that was just the world that I live in. What had happened to me, because cause I consider myself a pretty private person where I'll joke a lot if it's a joke, and like I'll do that. But when it comes to personal things, I keep them very personal. But Wear Words, I started it with one of my friends. I already told him about it a long time ago, and he was like, I told him about the whole Wear Words thing, and it was really it took me a while before I really was wrestling with God, and like I don't know if I want to do it. I'm not ready, you know, like people gonna judge me and type thing. And the 3 words I wrote on my face were doubt, rape, and anger. The first word I put for the first day, I did it on a Friday, I believe it was on a Sunday evening. And everybody leaving church, so everybody posting their church selfies and everything like that. So I put anger on my Instagram and on my Facebook and on my Twitter, and explain why I still struggle with being angry, and how other people can possibly relate to it. And then the next, I was like, okay, so I made that. Everybody angry, so it's fine. We live in Baltimore, everybody angry. So I was fine with that. And then the next day was a Monday, so I was like, everybody getting off of work, and my next word was rape, and I was like, I don't want to, you know, everybody don't like Mondays, so I don't want to throw my word in everybody's face, and they start judging me, like, why you mess up my day like that, or something like that. So it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I was just like, do I want to post it? I was like, text, I was like, I'm not ready. I don't think I want to post it. I know I'm supposed to be doing it as a series, but I'm not ready. I don't think I'm ready. And these pictures were all outside, and we took them when it was pitch black, and it was still snow on the ground. And I had my sister write the words in black on my face. And so when I post my word rape, and then I didn't tell specifically of what happened. I was in high school my senior year, and that's when that happened. And I really started out giving statistics of how many women that never say or open their mouth and say this happened to them. And then I just started telling of how I felt and how I feel I'm getting over it. And how I feel like my life is better because of it, which sounds ironic. But I feel like I've become a stronger person. I can reach a little bit more. I'm a little bit more relatable. I have bumps and bruises, so outside I might look perfect, but I'm really not. I'm a little crazy sometimes. So that when I post that one, a lot of women I knew some that were close to me that had that happen to them as well, but then the outpour came in, and even students that I teach in the Upward Bound program over the summer texted me and called like, this I didn't know, but this happened to me. I'm going through this now. This just happened. And one little girl specifically, I'm not going to say her name, but I text her every day now, and it keeps happening. It's a repetitive thing. So I had to go in, like, talk to her mom, like, tell your mom, like, this is what's going on. Police need to get involved at this point, because you shouldn't be. It's a neighbor, so you can't keep going back to that wound and keep opening it up. Sure. And then so after I post my second word, which was rape, my third word was doubt. But after I was like, I'm all right, I'm free. I told everybody. And so doubt really was my third word, really, because after I said this big thing, after I opened myself up to the world, after I became and let myself become public, I would doubt myself and how far I could go and how effective my life would be if I just let anything interfere in what I do. But I think doubt, everybody relates to it, and even in starting a new business or starting a new job or going to school, and I don't think I can do it. You always doubt yourself, and so that's what really what my personal experience is with what I've been specifically. But I definitely would want to know how did you come about as far as with the Miss Essence and going and talking to other women, and how's that helped you and help other women as well?
Well, first of all, I just want to commend you for starting the campaign and then continuing to share your story even now publicly on the radio.
Yeah.
So, there are, I'm sure, people listening who are like, yeah, I totally understand, and I can't do what she's doing, or I'm there and I'm not sure. So continue speaking out. Basically, what you're doing right now is what I aimed to do years ago and what I'm continuing now. I was actually abused for 2 years as a teen, 14 to 16 years old. It was actually incest. It was a family member. He was also a pastor of a church. So I had a difficult time with trying to figure out how I was going to convince people that he did this, because he was such an outstanding member of the community.
Right.
A little bit more of a twist on it, and I'm from North Carolina. There's a lot of incestual things that go on down south, unfortunately, but my mother was also involved with him. So, I had that hard time, as well as, how do I tell my mother that the same man that she's with is with me? So I didn't tell. I left home at 16 because I wanted to end, and I knew it wouldn't if I stayed there. My parents were divorced, so I went to stay with my father. And the first time I told my story was when I was 18. My father and I were watching a Lifetime movie, and it had a rape scene in it. And at that moment, I became very emotional. So my dad, of course, is like analyzing me. He was a police officer and all that, so he could see through all of that. And so I tried to say that it was just a very emotional part of the movie. Yeah. You know how it is, Dad.
Right. When I saw For Color Girls, I was in the movie there. I just bust out crying. And my friend that came with me, he was like,
Right. You know, people, they can see when it's just like a little tear from the sad part.
I was like one of those I was like,
because you really felt what it was that you saw.
Right.
And that's very similar to what was going on in this Lifetime movie. And my dad kept probing, and so I finally just had to say, this is what happened. I just let it all out. I said, I know I'm in trouble now. I'm about to get it. My mom's going down. Somebody's going to jail. But at least it's out now. I felt like a sense of relief. However, the relief was far from over because, I had to go through this long, grueling process of repeating the story to all these different parties. And I was basically told it would be my word against his, and he had a great reputation. So they kind of half-heartedly said, you might not want to pursue this.
Right.
So I didn't at that time, but it led to so many other issues. I suffered from depression, low self-esteem. I took over 100 pills my freshman year of college.
Wow.
And, I went to college because I was like, okay, I need to start my life over. But I just couldn't shake the thoughts.
Right.
I couldn't shake the fact that my mother didn't believe me.
Right.
I just felt like everybody who should have had my back had turned on me.
Right.
And so it was an extremely difficult process. But at some point, I just had to find my faith in God again. And I told myself that God wouldn't allow something like that to happen to me unless I was supposed to see or find something from it or learn something from it. And so very similarly to what you said earlier, I believe that was something that was purpose for me because God knew that I would be strong enough to overcome it and to help others do the same.
Right.
So I do see that now as something I was supposed to go through.
Right.
And that situation has empowered me because I've been able to empower others. So to be honest with you, it's hard to tell people how to find their faith.
Right.
But if you could just believe that God, we hear it often, it's not a cliche, it's a scripture, but he won't put more on us than we can bear.
Right.
He knew I could bear that.
Right.
Even though I didn't think I could at the time, he knew I wasn't going to die when I took all those pills.
Right.
He knew that when I got depressed and down and out that I wasn't going to stay there.
Right.
So that's really what brought me to the point of where I am today.
Wow.
That's really great.
Thank you.
I really admire you for that, especially with even after your mom not believing you. That could take a blow. I know when I told my mom, she the same way had been molested as well by someone in our family, and I know her believing me was instant because she always knew it was something, but you didn't know what it was. So I don't know what I would possibly be able to do if my mother did not believe me. So I definitely admire you for that.
Thank you. And it's really common for mothers to not believe their children. It's a very sad circumstance, and that's really another thing that really pushed me into advocacy because I was like, listen, mothers, I need you to hear me. Listen to your children.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that really pushed me to speak out. And it's also the reason why I created the She Rose Awards. Dr. Cecilia Martin was one of our honorees, but I chose women who were strong and who overcame the abuse, but maybe people didn't know. And I want people to see strong faces. You know, a lot of people see me and they keep hearing my story, but I want them to know that there's other people that are just like me out there.
Yeah.
And it's been a long journey, but to get to this point, I need other people to understand that it's possible.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but it's possible.
Yeah.
Wow. You guys' story has been so inspiring to me, just listening and being able to hear your story is just, I don't know. I just feel very, I don't know. Thank you. But we are going to get back to these ladies in a moment. Take a breath. Stay tuned. You're in the VIP room. Don't move. We'll be right back.